In this video, I want to talk about one principle that can help you understand not only your own personality, but also the personalities of others. This principle is called the principle of individuation, and it's one of Jungian psychology's most important concepts. Let me start by asking you some questions. Do you know who you are? Do you feel like there's more to you than just what you do for work, or what other people think of you? Do you have dreams, values, goals, or things you wish to accomplish that make you feel fulfilled? Maybe you have hobbies, activities, things that you love to do in your free time. Or maybe you don't. Are you happy with the way you live your life? These questions might seem simple, but they're actually pretty deep. They touch on the core of what it means to be an individual, which is exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to understand is that according to Jungian psychology, we all have two parts to our psyche, our conscious and our unconscious. Our conscious is everything that we're currently aware of, our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. But our unconscious is everything that we're not consciously aware of. It's like an iceberg where only a small part of it is visible above the water. Jung believed that our unconscious contains all of our repressed memories, emotions, and thoughts that we've forgotten or ignored. Now, here's the interesting part. Our unconscious doesn't just contain forgotten information. It also has a strong influence on our conscious mind. It can affect how we think, feel, and behave without us even realizing it. And this is where the principle of individuation comes in. You see, Jung believed that everyone has a unique set of characteristics that make them who they are. He called this our archetype. An archetype is basically a collection of traits and behaviors that are common to all humans, but that manifest differently in each person. For example, everyone has a different combination of introversion and extroversion, thinking and feeling, and so on. These archetypes form the basis of our personality, and they're what make each of us unique. But here's the problem. According to Jung, many of us don't fully realize or accept our unique archetypes. We often try to conform to the expectations of others or to a particular social role that we feel we need to fulfill. For example, maybe you feel like you're supposed to be a doctor because that's what your parents want, or what you've always been told to do. Or maybe you feel like you're supposed to marry and have children because that's just what people do. But the truth is that none of these things are inherently wrong. It's just that they're not necessarily right for you either. You can choose to become a doctor if you really want to, but it shouldn't be because someone is forcing you to or because you feel like you have no other choice. It should be because you genuinely enjoy medicine and want to help people. When we force ourselves into roles or situations that don't align with our true selves, we create a lot of psychological tension. This tension can manifest in many ways, like anxiety, depression, anger, or even physical illness. That's why it's so important to understand our archetypes and to live in accordance with them. When we do this, we create harmony in our psyche and we allow our true selves to shine through. This process of becoming who you truly are is what Jung called individuation. It's like a journey of self-discovery where you explore your unconscious, integrate your shadow self, and bring your true self to the surface. Individuation is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that happens throughout our lives. As we grow and change, our archetypes also evolve, and we need to continue to explore and integrate them in order to live in accordance with our true selves. There are 4 main stages of individuation, and we'll go over each of them briefly. Stage 1. Contact with the unconscious. This is when we first become aware of our unconscious material, usually through dreams, fantasies, or intuition. Stage 2. Confrontation with the shadow. This is when we come face to face with the darker aspects of ourselves, the parts of our personality that we've been repressing or denying. Stage 3. Integration of the shadow. This is when we accept and integrate our shadow self, allowing the good and bad aspects of our personality to coexist. Stage 4. Transformation and individuation. This is when we emerge from the process with a greater sense of wholeness and integration. We've come to terms with our past, accepted our true self, and are ready to move forward in life in a more authentic and meaningful way. Okay, now that we have an understanding of what the principle of individuation is, let's take a look at how we can apply it to our lives. The first step is to become aware of your archetype. This can be done through introspection, therapy, or any other method that helps you explore your unconscious. Once you've identified your archetype, the next step is to live in accordance with it. This means making decisions and taking actions that are aligned with your values, goals, and desires. It also means setting boundaries and saying no to things that don't serve you. For example, Maybe you're an introvert who loves spending time alone, but you're constantly being invited to parties and social events that you don't want to go to. In this situation, you would need to learn how to say no without feeling guilty. Living in accordance with your archetype can be challenging, especially if you've been suppressing or denying certain aspects of yourself for a long time. But it's important to remember that it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Every step that you take towards living more authentically is a step in the right direction. One of the biggest benefits of living in accordance with your archetype is that you'll feel more fulfilled and satisfied with your life. You'll be doing things that are meaningful to you and that reflect your true values. This can lead to a greater sense of purpose and direction in life. Additionally, living in accordance with your archetype can help you improve your mental health. When you're being true to yourself, you're less likely to experience things like anxiety, depression, and other mental health problems. This is because you're creating harmony in your psyche and allowing your true self to shine through. Finally, living in accordance with your archetype can help you improve your relationships with others. When you're being true to yourself, you're more likely to attract people who are compatible with you and your values. You'll also be able to communicate more effectively with others because you'll be more in touch with your own needs and desires. As we wrap up this video, we want to leave you with one final thought. Living in accordance with your archetype isn't something that you do once and then you're done. It's an ongoing process that requires constant awareness and attention. However, the benefits of living in accordance with your archetype far outweigh the challenges. If you can make the commitment to yourself to live in accordance with your true self, you'll be rewarded with a life that's more fulfilling, meaningful, and joyful. If you've made it this far, it means you're truly interested in the topic and want to dive deeper into the world of Jungian psychology and the principle of individuation. So we've put together a list of resources for you to explore further. First, we recommend reading Jung on the archetypes and the collective unconscious, as it is considered a classic in the field of analytical psychology and provides a comprehensive overview of Jung's theories on the subject. Additionally, we suggest exploring other books by Jung, such as Psychology of the Unconscious and Modern Man in Search of a Soul, which delve deeper into his ideas on individuation and the importance of living in accordance with one's true self. If you enjoyed this video, we highly recommend watching our video on the 7 deadly sins and their impact on your success. Click here to watch. Thanks for watching. See you next time. The principle of individuation is a central concept in Carl Jung's analytical psychology, describing the process through which a person becomes whole, authentic, and fully developed. Individuation is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming who you truly are by integrating all aspects of the psyche, both conscious and unconscious, into a harmonious self. Individuation represents the journey from fragmentation to unity. Every person begins life with a divided psyche, where some traits are accepted, the conscious ego, while others are repressed into the unconscious. These hidden aspects include the shadow or denied traits, anima or animus or inner opposite gender qualities, and other archetypes. If these remain ignored, we live a life of imbalance and inner conflict.